Okay guys, I just want to give you a quick review on the NetDot Gen 10 3-in-1 magnetic cable that you use for charging devices. So I'm just going to give you the quick rundown, what I like, what I don't like, and we'll just kind of go from there. So first off, I love I love these things for a couple of reasons. First off, uh, you put them in place, and the ports on your devices are just much less likely to get messed up. And that's the problem. You have these ports, you have, these hard connections that go in there, and then if it flexes up or down, you mess up the ports on your devices. It's a problem. And we always have these type of problems. I've got kids, they're always breaking stuff. Tablets have been broken multiple times because they just, when they plug them in and they're trying to use their tablet while it's still plugged in, and they end up messing up the port. So I've ordered a few of these at different times because of that reason, because it's much better for me to not have to pay for a brand new tablet, just because they screwed up the charging port. So that's the biggest reason why I love them. Now, with the packs you get, there's different varieties. Some of them they'll come with a 3-pack, 3 cables, and all of them will come with the compatibility for the different devices. So they've got the USB-C, the micro USB, which I have here, and they got the iPhone Lightning charger as well. So you guys know what those look like. So I'm just going to show you quickly how they work, as opposed to going into all that. So obviously, you just go ahead and plug these into the port. There it is. The charging cable, it's braided nylon, by the way, which is great. It's got a little light on the side which tells you you've got power on it, so that's great. The connector on it, it can plug in either way. This is the Gen 10. I've had the Gen 7 in the past. The Gen 7 has to actually be lined up properly. Gen 10 does not. It will just go in straight from any angle. So I'll go this way. Just plugs in. This way. Again, plugs in. So it's supposed to also be fine for data transfer. I have a lot of problem with data transfer. And you guys have heard, when I do this, you hear that noise, the computer is saying, oh, acknowledges device connected. But you have any give at all on this, it moves around any bit at all, and it loses the connection. And so if you plan to use this for a data transfer, I just advise against it. It doesn't work that great for that purpose. So I'm not going to recommend it for that purpose. But, as far as for charging, it's great. Now, I'm going to get into what the weakness is on this thing, and the reason why you got to be cautious when you get them, and just remember what you're getting, because here's the problem. Even though it plugs in easily, I've actually been using this for, on this particular device for, I don't even need it for this pad, right? Just want to show you, but I use it on my headphones. I've had one in my actual cell phone for the past year. Just took it out because I swapped cables. The problem though is this is plastic in the middle. You got metal here, metal on the bottom, and you got plastic connecting between the two. And what that means is you got a weak point there. And what happens when you have a weak point? Well, here's what happens when you have a weak point. So this was actually the one that was plugged into my phone. And what happened was I wanted to go ahead and remove it because I wanted to take it out to put a new case on. And this just pulled right off. It pulled right off because the plastic in that spot wore down, and then it broke and it pulled right out. And so what I had left over was this directly in my phone. And so I had to go and, try needle nose pliers, tweezer, whatever else to get this out. And that is the problem. That is the weakness. And so it works. It works fantastic. I still have them I still use them in other devices. I've actually had this happen to me twice. I had it happen with the Gen 7. I had it happen with the Gen 10. And so it is a risk, it is a risk, but really, these do, in general, they'll pull out relatively easily. But, the risk you have when you use these is that plastic that's on there. If you have in your cell phone, and your cell phone has a case, and that case just pushes up against it back and forth just a little bit, you had it in there for a year, and it just slowly breaks down that plastic, and eventually that happens. So I am still using them. I will continue to still use them because the ease that I have with some of my devices makes it worthwhile. Not messing up those ports by having it flex still makes it worthwhile. But understand the weakness when you get this. That's what can happen. And if you get it stuck inside of your port because it breaks off, that's a whole another issue, right? It's probably going to be easier to get this out of the port than it would be to replace the port itself if the port breaks with a normal charging cable, but that's what you got to be aware of. So items like my headphones, which do not have wireless charging, that's the thing where I'm going to have it on. For other things, my more expensive cell phone, which has wireless charging built in, don't need it, so I won't use it for that. I'll just use my wireless charging pads. So that just gives you a good overall overview of what we're talking about here. So, okay, thanks guys.